This week on the Granite State Challenge Championship, the Tomahawks of Merrimack High School take on the Bobcats of Plymouth Regional High School. Only one team will win. Granite State Challenge Championship starts now.
Major funding for the production of Granite State Challenge is provided by Unitil. Additional funding provided by NEA New Hampshire, Safety Insurance, New Hampshire Lottery, Heinemann Publishing, Cognia, HRCU, Manchester Community College, and viewers like you. Thank you. Get ready. It's time for New Hampshire high schools to match wits in a high-stakes scholastic showdown. It's time for Granite State Challenge. Here's your host, John Cannon.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again this week on Granite State Challenge for our Granite State Challenge Championship. It promises to be a great match between two really strong teams. If you've been with us all season, you know who they are, and we'll get with them in just a second. But first, we'd like to show you what it is they're playing for. And it's this trophy right here. So one of these two teams will be going home this week with the Granite State Challenge Championship. Good luck, teams. Let's introduce them to you. First up, we have the Tomahawks of Merrimack High School. They're led by senior captain Scott, seniors Alex and Troy, and junior Nick. Their team is coached by Sarah Campbell and Linda Mandra. The alternates are Andrew and Aiden. Let's hear it for the Tomahawks of Merrimack High School. And their opponents this week are last year's returning champions. To defend their title, they're the squad from Plymouth Regional High School. They are led by senior captain Reese. He is joined by seniors Michael, Eric, and Rihanna. The team is coached by Jay Fogarty, and the alternates are Mason and Ben. They are the Bobcats of Plymouth Regional High School. And one more introduction, of course, and that is with us all season long have been Ann Belanger and Jim Johnston. All right, teams, introductions are out of the way. We're going to jump right into the game. At this point, you know how Granite State Challenge is played. And in round number one, we're going to do 10-point toss-up questions. So, Merrimack, Plymouth, best of luck to you both. Here we go. In 2014, Nicola Sturgeon became the first female prime minister of this country that is part of the United Kingdom. Reese of Plymouth.
Scotland.
Scotland is correct. First released in 1972, this breakthrough video game was based on table tennis. Michael of Plymouth.
Pong.
Yes. Teams, you have pencil and paper there if you need it. If Ben earns $20 an hour and gets time and a half for every hour over 40 hours that he works, how much will he earn in a 60-hour week? Troy of Merrimack?
$980.
Sorry, nope. Reese of Plymouth?
$1,400.
Correct. The animated film Tangled is based on this German fairy tale. Eric of Plymouth.
Rapunzel.
That's it. In 1925, this Dayton, Tennessee teacher was charged with violating the Butler Act, which prohibited teaching about evolution. Alex of Merrimack.
Scopes.
Scopes is correct. What is the name of the narrator and only survivor of the Pequod in Herman Melville's novel, Moby Dick? Reese of Plymouth.
Ishmael.
Yes. All of this state's 5 counties have shorelines on Narragansett Bay. Michael of Plymouth.
Rhode Island.
Yes. In 2019, this environmental activist became the youngest individual to be named the Time Person of the Year. Nick of Merrimack.
Greta Thunberg.
Correct. This U.S. colony was founded in part to be a haven for English Catholics. Scott of Merrimack.
Maryland.
Yes. This movie, starring Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, and Debbie Reynolds, features an exuberant and iconic dance using an umbrella. Michael of Plymouth.
Cabaret.
Sorry, no. Alex of Merrimack.
Singing in the Rain.
That's the one. This Art Deco-style skyscraper in New York City was the tallest building in the world for almost a year until the Empire State Building beat it. Michael of Plymouth.
The Chrysler Building.
That's the one. This American president from Kinderhook, New York, spoke Dutch when he was a young child and did not learn English until he began school. Eric of Plymouth.
Van Buren.
Yes. This studio album by the Beach Boys, considered by many to be one of the most innovative and influential albums in rock history, included the songs Wouldn't It Be Nice and God Only Knows. Alex of Merrimack.
Pet Sounds?
You got it. In 1972, these two chess masters representing the United States and Russia met in Reykjavik, Iceland in the World Chess Championships match. Scott of Merrimack.
Kasparov and Fischer?
Sorry, no. Michael of Plymouth.
Bobby Fischer and Kirili Yakupov.
Sorry, you had Bobby Fischer. His opponent was Boris Spassky. All right, teams. These breeds of domestic cats originated on the Isle of Man and have small or no tails. Nick of Merrimack.
Short tails? Scottish?
Sorry, nope. Reese of Plymouth.
Manx?
Manx cats is correct. In 1993, Jeff Hooper won the Scripps National Spelling Bee by spelling the word kamikaze. Spell kamikaze. Eric of Plymouth.
Kamikaze.
You got it. Well done. This Greek city-state fought Athens during the Peloponnesian War. Scott of Merrimack.
Sparta.
Yes. Jeff Bridges' character in the Coen brothers' 1998 film The Big Lebowski was known by this laid-back nickname. Rihanna of Plymouth.
The Dude.
The Dude is right. This Canadian city, known as Cowtown, is famous for its annual rodeo and festival known as the Stampede. Michael of Plymouth.
Calgary.
Yes. You can be sure Lizzo, James Galway, Jean-Pierre Rampal, and Ian Anderson do not suffer from allophobia, the fear of this. Reese of Plymouth.
Fear of change?
Sorry, nope. Troy of Merrimack.
Performance?
Sorry, both good guesses. It is the fear of the flute. This capital of Syria is also known as the City of Jasmine. Michael of Plymouth.
Damascus.
Yes. All right, teams, for our next question is our Unitil Power question. It comes to you on your monitors, so go ahead and take a look. I just want to remind you this is a 20-point toss-up question. Take a look.
In what 1975 movie does Martin Brody say, "You're going to need a bigger boat"?
Troy of Merrimack.
Jaws?
That's the one. William Steig created this green ogre in a 1990 children's book. Scott of Merrimack.
Shrek.
Yes. This set of laws and rules for ancient Mesopotamia were written around 1780 BC. Scott of Merrimack.
Hammurabi's Code?
Yes. This American writer won 3 Academy Awards, one in 1955 for Best Adapted Screenplay for Marty, one for Best Original Screenplay in 1971 for The Hospital, and one in 1976 for Best Original Screenplay for Network. It was Paddy Chayefsky. Artist Norman Rockwell was inspired to paint his series The Four Freedoms by a State of the Union speech focusing on freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from want, and freedom from fear given by this president. All locked out. Troy of Merrimack.
Teddy Roosevelt?
Sorry, nope. Plymouth. Reese.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt?
Franklin Roosevelt's the right one. A preliminary questioning of prospective jurors is known by this French term. Scott of Merrimack.
Voir dire.
Correct. In what Shakespearean play will you find the characters Desdemona, Iago, and Cassio? Troy of Merrimack.
Othello?
That's it. This French statesman and leader of the French Revolution advocated suffrage for all men, the right to bear arms, the abolition of slavery, and the end of celibacy in the clergy. He also oversaw, along with the Committee of Public Safety, arrests and executions during the Reign of Terror. Michael of Plymouth.
Maximilian Robespierre.
He's the one. This sound ends round one, and at the end of round one, Plymouth out to a bit of a lead, 150 to 120. All right. Tight match teams, just the way we like to see it. Merrimack and Plymouth, great job in round one. We're going to roll right into round two. In round two, you know we do 20-point toss-up questions. So, Merrimack, Plymouth, good luck, and here we go. This 1936 film, written and directed by Charlie Chaplin, featured the character the Little Tramp struggling to find his way in an industrialized world? Nick of Merrimack.
Great Dictator?
Sorry, nope. Michael of Plymouth.
The Tramp.
Sorry, it's Modern Times. This spice, which comes from the flower of the Crocus sativus, is the most expensive spice in the world by weight. Eric of Plymouth.
Vanilla.
Sorry, nope. Troy of Merrimack.
Saffron.
Saffron is correct. This Irish author and playwright of works like The Picture of Dorian Gray and The Importance of Being Earnest was jailed for 2 years for homosexual acts. He was pardoned in 2017, along with 50,000 other men, in what is informally known as the Alan Turing Law. Eric of Plymouth.
Wilde.
Oscar Wilde is correct. All right, teams, go ahead and take a look at your monitors for the next question. You're looking at a portrait painted by Rembrandt Peale of this French aristocrat who played a key role in the American Revolution and who has a 5,249-foot mountain named after him in New Hampshire's White Mountains. Nick of Merrimack.
The Marquis de Lafayette?
Lafayette is correct. President Harry Truman served 10 years as a U.S. Senator from this state. Michael of Plymouth.
Missouri.
That's it. Plains, mountain, and grevies are all species of this African member of the horse family. Troy of Merrimack.
Zebra.
You got it. Theresa May was the second female prime minister of the United Kingdom. Who was the first? Scott of Merrimack.
Margaret Thatcher.
She's the one. The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien is a collection of connected short stories about a platoon of soldiers who served during this war. Scott of Merrimack.
Vietnam.
Yes. This original cast member of Saturday Night Live shares a name with a city in Maryland. Scott of Merrimack.
Chevy Chase.
Yes. Occupying a surface area of around 27,240,000 square miles, this is the third largest of the world's 5 oceans. Troy of Merrimack.
Indian.
That's the one. This has been the name of a number of ships, including a Continental Navy sloop captured from the British, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the first orbiter in the space shuttle program, and a fictional starship that went where no person had gone before. Troy of Merrimack.
Voyager.
Sorry, no. Michael of Plymouth.
The Enterprise.
Enterprise is the right one. In 1722, following the success of Robinson Crusoe, Daniel Defoe wrote this novel telling the life story of a thief, bigamist, and prostitute that was set in England and the American colonies. Reese of Plymouth.
Silas Marner.
Sorry, no. It was Moll Flanders. 3 founding fathers died on July 4th. Thomas Jefferson and John Adams died within hours of each other in 1826, the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This man, who was the 5th President of the United States, died 5 years later in 1831. Scott of Merrimack.
Monroe.
Monroe's the one. This newscaster, often referred to as the most trusted man in America, was famous for ending his broadcasts with the phrase, "That's the way it is." Scott of Merrimack.
Walter Cronkite.
Yes. Teams, what is the process by which molecules pass through a semi-permeable membrane called? Alex of Merrimack.
Osmosis.
Yep, you got it. This man is perhaps best known for the diary he kept from 1660 until 1669 during the English Restoration. It was Samuel Pepys. This philosopher and writer is known for the aphorism, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." Reese of Plymouth.
Santayana.
He's the one. Writer and illustrator Louise Fitzhugh created the character. Well, maybe we'll get to that one at the beginning of round 4, but at the end of round 2, it looks like Merrimack out to a lead now by a score of 320 to 230. Great job, teams. As we go into round 3, I'd like to invite the alternates to join their teams up at the podium. In round 3, which we call our 60-second round, each team gets 10 questions in a category. We'll give them 10 points for each correct response and a bonus of 10 points if they get all 10 correct for a total of 110. We're going to start with the team from Plymouth. As the team trailing, Reese, you can talk to your team, but you can choose from the following 3 categories: Premier League, Into the Woods, and pen names.
And names?
Pen names. All right. So, Reese, I will take your answer as the team answer, but you can talk to your team. For this category, give the pen names or real name of the following authors. 60 seconds. Start the clock. Samuel Clemens wrote about
Mark
life.
Twain.
Correct. Charles Ludwig Dodgson wrote Tales to Entertain a Young Neighbor.
Smith.
It is Lewis Carroll. Marianne Evans wrote the novel.
George Eliot.
Say it again.
George Eliot.
Yes, Daniel Handler is the author of a series of books about a series of unfortunate events.
Oh, Lemony Snicket.
Lemony Snicket.
Correct. Theodore Geisel might have had a Wocket in his pocket.
Dr. Seuss.
Yes. Eric Arthur Blair wrote the dystopian
George
novel
Orwell.
1980. Yep. Currer Bell created the character Jane Eyre.
Charlotte Bronte.
Yes. French writer and philosopher Francois Marie
Voltaire.
Arouet. Say it again.
Voltaire.
Yes. Founding father wrote under the pen
Benjamin
names.
Franklin.
Correct. Joanne Rowling created a world of wizards and witches and muggles.
J.K. Rowling.
Correct. 9 out of 10 on your 60-second rounds. Very well done, Plymouth. We now turn our attention over to Merrimack. And Scott, you can talk to your team. You can choose from Premier League and Into the Woods.
We're going to go with Into the Woods.
Into the Woods, okay. Scott, I'll take your answer as the team answer, but you can talk to your team. Pass if you need to. The answers to all of the following will include the word wood. 60 seconds, start the clock. 28th President of the United States.
Woodrow Wilson.
Yes, rock music concert or Snoopy.
Woodstock.
Correct. He painted American Gothic.
Grant Wood.
Yes, he is a famous cartoon bird with a red head.
Woody Woodpecker.
Yes, HBO series featuring outlaws.
Deadwood.
Deadwood.
Correct. He played Frodo Baggins in The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood.
Correct. 1994 film starring Johnny Depp as this filmmaker known for his horrible films.
Pass.
It is Ed Wood. What You Might Do If You Don't Want to Tempt Fate, or a song by Eddie Floyd and Steve Cropper.
Knock on Wood.
Correct. This Beatles song on their Rubber Soul album.
Norwegian Wood.
Correct. This legendary folk singer and songwriter wrote the song This Land Is Your
Woody
Land.
Guthrie.
Yes, correct. Nice. 9 out of 10 on your 60-second rounds. All right. Excellent job, teams. Alternates, thank you very much. You can take your seats, and we're going to head right into round 4. As you know, in round 4, we're going to continue with our 20-point toss-ups. However, we will be deducting 20 points for any incorrect responses. So play smart, play strategic. Merrimack, Plymouth, good luck. Here we go. Writer and illustrator Louise Fitzhugh created the character 11-year-old Harriet M. Welch, who, in an attempt to become a writer, keeps detailed notes on what her friends and neighbors are up to. What is the title of the first book Harriet appeared in? Rihanna of Plymouth.
Harriet the Spy.
That's it. German composer Felix Mendelssohn wrote the melody for this familiar Christmas carol, and the lyrics were written by English Methodist leader Charles Wesley, who began the song with the words, "Hark, how all the welkin rings." Scott of Merrimack.
Hark the Herald Angels Sings.
That's it. One of the early events of the French Revolution was the Women's March on Versailles. In October of 1789, the march started in the marketplace of Paris in protest over the scarcity and high price of this food staple. Scott of Merrimack.
Bread.
Yes. In his 1981 nonfiction book, Dance Macabre, about horror fiction, Stephen King lists this author's 1959 novel, The Haunting of Hill House, as one of the finest horror novels of the late 20th century. Shirley Jackson was the name we were going for. This phrase first appeared in U.S. currency on the 2-cent piece in 1864 and on paper currency in 1957. Michael of Plymouth.
In God We Trust.
Yes. This gemstone is actually fossilized tree sap. Eric of Plymouth.
Amber.
Yes. Teams, what Major League Baseball team plays in Wrigley Field? Michael of Plymouth.
Chicago Cubs.
They're the ones. Khartoum is the capital of this nation that is the third largest country in Africa. Reese of Plymouth.
Sudan.
Yes. Most homes have a junk drawer in the kitchen full of miscellaneous objects. Spell miscellaneous. Rihanna of Plymouth.
Miscellaneous.
You've got them all. Well done. This Baroque composer, who is perhaps best known for his work The Four Seasons, was also an ordained Catholic priest. Michael of Plymouth.
Vivaldi.
Yes. This is the largest member of the camel family found in South America. It has been used as a pack animal since the pre-Columbian era. Michael of Plymouth.
Alpaca.
Sorry, no. Scott of Merrimack.
Llama.
Llama's the correct one. In September of 1914, the Imperial government of Russia changed the name of the city of St. Petersburg to this. Nick of Merrimack.
Leningrad.
Leningrad is incorrect. It was Petrograd. The European Recovery Program, designed to help Europe recover from World War II, is better known by this name derived from the name of the U.S. Secretary of State who pushed for it. Reese of Plymouth.
Marshall Plan.
Yes. This Nevada city calls itself the biggest little city in the world. Scott of Merrimack.
Reno.
Reno is correct. This 1978 musical by Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber tells the tragic story of the First Lady of Argentina. Reese of Plymouth.
Evita.
Yes. Teams, what is the name of the first book of the Old Testament? Scott of Merrimack.
Genesis.
That's it. This country in Western Asia was once known as Persia. Reese of Plymouth.
Iran.
Yes. This hip-hop group featured Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Professor Griff, Kari Wynn, and DJ Lord. Alex of Merrimack.
Public Enemy.
Public Enemy is correct. This small wildcat, Leopardus pardalis, is found in the southwestern United States as well as in Mexico and Central and South America. It is also known by this common name. Nick of Merrimack.
The ocelot.
The ocelot is correct. Some of the characters in James Joyce's 1914 collection of short stories, Dubliners, later appear as minor characters in this 1922 novel. I think you're getting... Sorry, Alex, didn't quite make it. Nick, I think you got locked out. It is Ulysses. This French oceanographer is known for his red knit hat and his ship, the Calypso, which is a former minesweeper and ferry. Reese of Plymouth.
Jacques Cousteau.
Yes. Article 1, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution mandates that this happen every 10 years. Alex of
The
Merrimack.
census.
Yes. Actor and comedian Steve Martin starred as sadistic dentist Orin Scrivello in the 1986 movie version of this off-Broadway musical by Alan Menken and Howard Ashman. Scott of Merrimack.
Little Shop of Horrors.
That's it. This U.S. president played George Gipp in the movie Newt Rockney, All-American. Scott of Merrimack.
Ronald Reagan.
Yes. Edward Prendick, who is stuck on an island that is home to a mad scientist, will never get to know, but in a great match that was tight until the very end, Merrimack emerges victorious by a score of 610 to 540. Congratulations, Merrimack. Great game, Plymouth. We had a lot of fun. Great season. What a great match, Merrimack and Plymouth. Congratulations to both teams. At this time, I'd like to toss it over to Alec O'Meara of Unitil for the presentation of the runners-up and champion trophies. Alec?
Thanks, John. This is Unitil's 8th year as the lead sponsor for Granite State Challenge. It is a true pleasure for us to be able to participate in another great season. We're there at the beginning when these teams take their qualifying test, and here we are at the end of another amazing season and a tense back-and-forth finals. It is my privilege to be able to present Plymouth with the runner-up trophy. Jake, congratulations on an amazing season.
Thank you very much. This is a great program. We appreciate your support on the program, and we really love to be here every year.
I have to say, it seems like every year I see you guys either one way or another here in these finals. You guys always make consistent, deep runs. What is it that you find you do year after year that gets you here?
These great kids just prepare themselves, and they get excited by it, and they do their best. And tonight was a great show.
Well, congratulations. I'm sure we'll see you again. All right, and if I could have the coach from Merrimack over here. Coach, this was an amazing finals and an amazing season. It is my privilege to be able to present you with the 2020 Granite State Challenge Championship Trophy.
Thank you so much. This is fantastic.
It was an amazing final game there with the score going back and forth right there at the very end. I was wondering what was going through your mind as you were watching this play out there in the final seconds.
So honestly, I was trying very hard not to think about anything, and I was just kind of enjoying watching them A lot of these boys, I've known them since they were freshmen, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege to be their coach for the past 4 years.
Well, it was an amazing finals, and your team showed a lot of heart, so congratulations.
Thank you.
John, back to you.
Thank you, Alec. Thank you so much. And thank you to Unitil for helping us make this show happen. Folks at home, we certainly hope that you had a lot of fun this week watching Granite State Challenge. And more importantly, we hope that you had a lot of fun watching us all season on Granite State Challenge. I end every show saying I learned a lot, and I hope you did too. And this season, I learned a whole lot, and I really hope you did too. But before we go, we have one more thing left to do. Merrimack, Plymouth, congratulations. That's a wrap.